Eileen Gu, a young skier, has become an internet sensation because of her outstanding performance in this year's Winter Olympics. To our surprise, besides being excellent at skiing, she is also a fashion model and a student at one of the world's top universities, Stanford University. Many netizens wish their children could be as young and influential as Eileen, but her success is not just due to her own hard work, but also to have a loving, supportive, and understanding mother. Before we get to the topic, I would like to show you a table of the 4 most recognized styles of parenting in the research, and ask all the parents to take a simple test and confirm what they think their style of family education is. Of course, these types of parenting are not absolute. There is a lot of family education in between these types, and there is a lot of family education that is much more complex than this. So, what are the differences between children who grow up in these different parenting styles? In the process of analysis, let's first define 2 words, soft power and hard power. Having soft power means being able to communicate and coordinate well in relationships with others and being confident, while hard power mainly refers to having strong skills in some areas and having a high level of professionalism. If we use a triangle for hard power and a circle for soft power, we get the following graph based on the 4 types of family education. Let's first talk about children under authoritarian parenting. This is also the traditional Chinese parenting, imposing too many rules using punishment to enforce strict obedience and lack of communication. When children are often challenged by their parents, their hard power in certain areas or skills tends to rise. However, in the process of being forced to complete the challenge, they often experience too much self-doubt. Facing the strong will of parents, some children even have to sacrifice their own will and have very low self-esteem. This is what will happen to children under authoritarian parenting. Then let's talk about children under authoritative parenting. In this type of parenting, parents will have requirements and control over their children. They will set clear rules and continuously strengthen them. They will explain the meaning behind the rules to their children, and also actively listen to their children's idea and make positive responses. This will make the soft power and hard power of your children high, and is the best way of education among all the types. For the permissive education, parents will encourage their children to express feelings and respond positively to their children, but they rarely set rules for their children, and when they do, they find it hard to keep them. This kind of education is mostly used in foreign families, and Eileen's mother also uses this type of education. However, the disadvantage of this kind of education is that although children will love their parents very much, they lack respect of their elders. This is a serious breach of traditional Chinese etiquette and is unacceptable to many Chinese parents. At the same time, because parents don't give their children any pressure or demands, their hard power is often poor. Last but not least is neglectful education. This is the worst type of education. In this case, parents are too busy dealing with work, relationships, and other issues. They're unable to pay attention to their children, not to mention being able to set demands or communicate with children. Under this type of family education, children grow up with neither soft power nor hard power, and there's a high risk of self-abasement and discord with adults. After a simple self-test and analysis of the 4 family education types, there are 2 key points that you can do to improve your own family education and enhance parent-children affection based on Eileen's mother's educational purpose. Be loving, supportive, and understanding parents. First of all, a certain amount of communication is very important. It doesn't need to be very complicated. Start with conversations about daily life and school life. The importance of this is just to reach out to your child and give your child somebody to talk to. A tip or warning for you is that in my communication with my classmates, I learned that many parents do not understand or support their preferences, which annoys them a lot. When your child is sharing her or his perspectives, don't judge or argue. Remember, you don't have to always agree with your child, but mutual understanding and respect will strengthen your relationship. The good thing about communication is that your child sees you as a friend and someone to talk to. You can also keep track of your child's recent status and address any problems that arise as soon as you can. Another suggestion to many traditional Chinese families is that give your child more encouragement and support, less blame or even get physical. IKEA once did an experiment. They put 2 identical plants together and gave them the same care every day. The only difference was that some students would insult one plant and praise the other plant every day. After 30 days, the plant that has been insulted was somewhat withered, and the plant that hasn't been praised was thriving. As we can see, even plants need support, so try to support and encourage your child as much as you can. I hope my speech and the key parental successes of Eileen's mom can somehow help you in educating your child, before expecting your child to be young and influential.